On today's episode of Hashtag This and That, I'm going to be sitting down with Stephanie Akin and Jackie Aldridge to discuss working out and fitting it into their daily routines.
I have recently set a new goal for myself where I do want to build on my strength.
Okay.
And, my confidence and my muscle. I don't want to just work out and not really see any results.
It makes a really big difference whether your coach kind of forces you to go to the gym and get all your stuff done and then go to the library, and he recognizes that you're not just an athlete, you're a student athlete.
Okay.
So school has to come first because that's what's going to sustain you for the rest of your life.
Hashtag This and That is a show dedicated to covering a diversity of topics important to women from the perspective and experience of fellow women. Our goal is to give the inside scoop to help and educate women on issues relevant to our daily lives. Thank you for joining another episode of Hashtag This and That on Woman to Woman TV. I'm your host, Karina LaFries. Today, I'm going to be discussing working out with two guests. One does workouts at the gym, and one used to play D1 volleyball. So we're going to be getting the different aspects of working out from those two ends of the spectrum. My first guest, Stephanie Akin, how are you doing today?
I'm good, how are you?
Good. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I recently just got a full-time job, so
Congratulations.
thank you. I'm trying to adjust to those changes. So that's why I was really happy to be part of this, part of this show, because like I said, I've been a big change, getting a new job, trying to get a new schedule and get into a new routine. So that's always been a struggle. So, maintaining a healthy lifestyle is really important to me. So I'm trying to get back on track with that.
Okay, great. So why don't you take us back to when you started working out, how that came about, and just kind of what you do, where you go, if you do classes, things like that.
Okay. Well, from what I can remember, I've always just been a very active person. I think just naturally how I am. I always did, sports in high school and things like that. And I think I can speak for a lot of women out there. We have body image issues. We get, troubles with self-confidence and things like that. So I just really wanted to do something for me to keep me happy mentally and emotionally. So I got into just going to the gym and just doing that, after school and kind of just doing my own workout. But I kind of realized that I wanted to do something a little more exciting, something, just rather than running on the treadmill for like 20 minutes. So I started getting into yoga and taking different classes like Zumba and things like that. So something to really just, like I said, keep me happy, and I had fun doing it.
Okay, great. So how long have you been doing yoga?
I've been doing it for about maybe 2 years.
Wow.
Like I said, I just recently got a new job. I moved, so it's been put on pause for a little bit for now, but I am trying to, look into it and do my research and find some nice yoga spots that I can start at.
Okay, great. So when you started, did you just do the yoga classes that were provided through the gym, or did you go to an actual yoga studio?
I actually went to my public library.
Oh, wow.
It's great. You can find great resources within your own hometown. I went to my public library in Hampton Bays, and they were $5 a class, so it's like, it worked for me, so it was fun.
So you said that you started a new job and trying to get on a routine. How has that been? Do you have it down? Because I know that experience of, trying to get into a new routine and finding the time to go to the gym. Right. Especially when you're dedicated to the gym, you can be there for, 1.5, 2 hours. So how do you fit that into your daily schedule?
It was definitely a struggle at first. It was hard to get into that because, after a long day of work, you just want to go home, eat dinner, and relax. But I usually do it where I go mostly on the weekends. I sign up for these classes where I'm like, okay, I paid for this class, I'm gonna be committed to it, and I will, maybe set a reminder on my phone or just mentally tell myself, Stephanie, go on Monday, so at least maybe the rest of the week, if I'm too tired, when it comes to Thursday, I just want to enjoy my weekend, I at least know that I got to work out in at some point during the week.
I know one of the issues that a lot of women have going to the gym is, there's all those men, and I know Planet Fitness kind of strides themselves on not having, the bulkers and not being intimidated, basically. But do you ever find that that still happens sometimes? And what advice could you give to women who are, afraid, or not necessarily afraid, but, don't want to be lifting weights next to a muscle man?
Right. I mean, I definitely understand where that intimidation comes from. Sometimes when I want to go lift a weight and there's a bunch of guys around, I'm like, maybe I'll just push that off until the end of my workout. But I think that if women do their research and find some workouts that they find works for them, even if it's just a simple bicep curl or things like that, it's such an easy workout to do that no one should feel embarrassed to do them. And everyone is at their own fitness levels, whether you're lifting 10 pounds or you're lifting 30 pounds. Everyone's different. So it's just important for women to remember that everyone has their different strengths, everyone has their weaknesses, and it's just really important if you keep going to the gym that you just work on, what do you want to work on and set goals for yourself.
Exactly. And I think once they start going more and they become more comfortable, then it would be easier for them to do so. And sometimes you come across a really nice guy who helps you out with your workouts. I've had that experience before where I was doing squats and he was like, oh, do you want me to spot you or anything like that? And it's really nice to, be welcomed in a community like that. Because it really is a community.
It's important to remember that everyone's there for pretty much the same reason. Everyone's there just to work out. Maybe they had a long day, they just want to relieve some stress. So just do your own thing, put your music on, on and just kind of zone out. And it's also nice where usually, I've had great experiences with Planet Fitness where the staff is really helpful as well. So if you do want help with a certain machine and things like that, people are usually more than happy to help you.
That's excellent. So is there any ultimate goal that you're trying to reach, like through the working out? Is there something that you've set for yourself or just to maintain a healthy lifestyle overall?
I have recently set a new goal for myself where I do want to build on my strength.
Okay.
And my confidence and my muscle. I don't want to just work out and not really see any results. I want to, pay attention to my body, what my body wants, what my body is craving, what my body needs, to make sure that I'm nourishing my body and I'm working out and I'm seeing the strength. I'm really, I really want to become stronger and more confident.
How do you fit in eating healthy with that also? Because that's, a huge part of the working out is if you're going home and you're going to, just eat a ton of cookies, it's, it kind of is counterproductive. So how do you find, especially with working full time, do you food prep? How do you go through that kind of process?
Well,
that's tough.
Yeah, I definitely do my own grocery shopping because I found that that's just better with financially and it's important to know what you're putting into your body. So I always, every Sunday is kind of my day to run errands and go grocery shopping, and I kind of plan for the week where it's like, okay, I need enough lettuce to make salads, I need enough bread or turkey to make my sandwiches throughout the week. It's definitely easier than to, go down to the deli and, pay more than you would for a sandwich. So and I have been trying to get into the routine of cooking on Sundays with my crock pot. I'm very happy that I got one. So I can cook in bulk and just throw everything to Tupperware and then I freeze it and I just reheat it throughout the week.
Okay.
I also go to stores that I know and I trust, like stores like Trader Joe's, or I buy those like lean cuisine meals. So if I do want something quick during the week, I know that Trader Joe's has the better options for your body, and I actually like the taste of them, so I think those are great options as well.
I know we discussed a little bit before about advice for other women, but is there kind of any takeaway that you want, women or just anyone working out in general to take from your experience?
I think it's just important to, maybe step out of your comfort zone a little bit. It sounds difficult, but I think that if you maybe give one class a try, and if you like it, awesome, then you can keep going, and if that's something you enjoy doing, then that's great. But if you don't like it, that's okay too. You can find, there's so many other classes that women can try, and eventually I think that someone will, find whatever works for them, whether it's going to a class or going to the gym and, finding your own workout. But I think it's really important just to ultimately think about what you really want to see yourself doing and what goals you want to set for yourself, and just kind of see how you can get there.
Okay, great. Well, this has been very insightful. We'll have to check in a couple months and see how your strength is doing.
Thank you so much.
All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. My next guest, Jackie Aldridge, is a volleyball player. She has played since she was 13 years old, and she played in 2 D1 schools. Is that correct? All right, so why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I am currently finishing up my master's degree with clinical mental health counseling at Long Island University. Hoping to get a job sooner or later. We'll figure that out after the semester's over.
Okay, great. So when did you start playing volleyball? 13, right? And was that through school?
Yes, it was 7th grade, which is the earliest that they offer it here in New York. So I would have played sooner, but there was no organized volleyball for us younger than that. But yeah, 7th grade. Actually, in 7th grade, I made the 8th grade volleyball team. So I played on that team for 2 years, and then I played varsity for 4 years, and then went on and played for 4 years in college.
Wow, so you were just a natural born volleyball player.
I guess so.
All right, so what position did you play?
I was a setter, and later I developed into a DS, which is a defensive specialist. So I played the back row, passing, and I was also a setter.
Okay, so tell me about going in for that first day of volleyball, because obviously you loved it if you played all the way through college. So what about it kind of enticed you so much from the beginning?
I actually had never even really heard of volleyball when I went into the first day of middle school. I don't know, it was just never something that I had ever known about. I played basketball and softball and soccer when I was younger, but having 4 different sports that you could play throughout the year, I was like, well, I need to fill up my middle time, so I just decided to play because all my friends were playing, and yeah, it just kind of came natural to me. We were, first day of practice, I guess the 8th grade team didn't have too many kids, and the 7th grade team had a lot, so the 8th grade coach was like, whoever can serve the ball overhand first is going to be on the 8th grade team, and I did it, and so I was on the 8th grade team, and it just, I don't know, it just clicked, and I felt comfortable, and I had so much fun. It's such a fun, enthusiastic sport. I just love it.
Okay, great. So besides the school teams, did you play with any like travel organizations?
Yes, playing travel volleyball was actually a huge part of my life. I started in 8th grade and played all throughout high school. We played for the Long Island Fury Volleyball Club, which is an amazing club out on Eastern Long Island. My 8th grade coach was actually my club coach also, and he put together a great team of girls from the local area, and we all ended up playing together for all 4 years. So we became very close, we became very good, and we competed at a really high level. So that was great.
Great. So what are some of the top accomplishments before college? Because obviously playing D1 is an accomplishment right there. But before that, was there any, with the travel league or with the school league, was there any like huge accomplishments that you guys succeeded in?
Yeah, actually, it's a great memories. We, for my club team, like I said, we've played together for so long, and we were all very talented, so we ended up getting a bid to play at the Junior Olympics, which was held in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So it was girls from all over the country, girls from Texas and California, and all of those places, so that was a really great experience, and we did very well, so it was really fun. And then for high school, my senior year, my cousin and I were actually captains of the varsity team, and we went to states my senior year. So we were in the top 4 teams in the state for Class A volleyball.
Wow, that's incredible.
It's really exciting.
So you guys were very talented.
Fortunately, fortunately, I was lucky enough to play with a lot of talented girls, because it's one thing which I've learned from a lot of girls that I've played with. They're very talented, but if you don't have the supporting staff on a team, you can't really go very far. So I was very fortunate to have been matched up with a lot of very talented girls along the way.
Okay, and have you done any coaching?
Yeah, actually, right after I graduated from Manhattan College, I went back home to figure out if I was going to go to grad school and stuff, and the athletic director at my high school obviously remembered me, and she just kind of handed me the JV coaching job at West Hampton. So I did that for a few years, and going to grad school, I couldn't do it full time. I couldn't promise that much time to them, which was unfair to the girls. So I still volunteer coach the varsity, they had an amazing year this year. They got to the semifinals in Suffolk County.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, it was great. They are an amazing team, and yeah, I really love it. I have a hard time actually coaching setters, which I always tell people this and they think it's so weird. I have a harder time coaching setters than I do all the other positions, because I had to learn the other positions and I had to be coached into these other positions. So I remember how I was taught, so I can teach them. Setting was always something that kind of came natural to me. So being like, yeah, I just want you to do this. And they're like, I don't know what you mean. It's natural to me, it's not natural to them. So it's harder for me sometimes to teach that. But yeah, it's really fun, and all the girls are so excited whenever I show up to practice, so it's a confidence booster.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
How do you find, because you said you're currently in grad school, you know, starting to look for jobs, and so I'd been discussing with Stephanie, you know, trying to get into that routine of finding the time to go to the gym. How do you find your experience to be, especially with trying to fit in volleyball also?
Yeah, I find that throughout the day I get kind of lazy, so I go to the gym in the very early mornings, like 7 o'clock before I go to work and stuff, because then I either go and then I have it done for the day and I don't have to worry about it, or I go and then I do have energy during the day and I kind of forget that I went in the morning, so then I get 2 for 1 kind of. So either way it works out for me to go in the mornings, but if I can't go in the mornings and I don't have class, I try to go in the evenings.
How do you find eating healthy fitting in? Because it can be very difficult.
It is very difficult. I naturally have a really big sweet tooth. Everyone in my family does. So that's always been kind of a struggle for me, ice cream and all those things. But I heard Stephanie say before about meal prepping and doing things ahead of time. I think that's amazing, like cooking chicken and broccoli and being able to just throw it in the microwave is super helpful. I've tried Herbalife and Nutrisystem in the past just because it's good portion control and all of those things, and I enjoy them, but I get very bored very quickly. I need, like volleyball, it's fast paced, I need changes and stuff, so that doesn't work for me. But yeah, I think meal prepping and just thinking about it ahead of time is really helpful to me. I like to organize and make lists, so if I can kind of plan what I'm going to eat for the week, it'll make things easier for me.
Right. So how was eating in college, because you mentioned that you guys would get breakfast together and you would get dinner together, and in college obviously you're eating on campus, so you're kind of succumbing to whatever they're offering you basically. And so I'm sure at that point when you were constantly active doing 2-a-days practices, it was a little easier to, you know, ingest something and it not necessarily be so healthy, but you know you're going to burn it off.
Yeah. Actually in college now I work on losing weight and doing all these things, but in college it was more about sustaining your energy and eating what you need to eat to get through the practices and stuff. So if you were hungry, I wasn't really gonna be like, oh, I want to lose weight, let me eat celery. I'd just be like, oh, some peanut butter, give it to me. You know what I mean? Like, I need that energy.
Right.
But yeah, fortunately, at especially Manhattan College, they had a great cafeteria, and they had a lot of places where you could make your own foods and personalized salads and stuff like that. So you try to do that as much as possible. Of course, you're going to give in to the ice cream bar once in a while, but as long as you're keeping your energy level up and you're eating enough to support your body for what it has to do, I think you just got to make as smart of decisions as you can at the time.
Okay, great. So back to, you know, playing volleyball in college. How were you able to focus on classes as well as, you know, basically volleyball is a full-time job at that point. So how were you able to, you know, time manage and accomplish everything that you had to do and graduate?
Yeah. I know a lot of sports teams have trouble with that, especially at the D1 level, because they put so much emphasis on being a D1 sport. You need to do all this stuff, and you have this responsibility because you're on scholarship and all this stuff. But I don't know, I think we as a team just had a very strong work ethic, and we have team study time, so we would go to the library as a team and get things done, and every freshman and new incoming player had mandatory library time. So that was great because it kind of just forces you to sit down for an hour and a half and get all your stuff done. So that was super helpful, and the coaches, it makes a really big difference whether your coach kind of forces you to go to the gym and get all your stuff done and then go to the library, and he recognizes that you're not just an athlete, you're a student athlete.
Okay.
So school has to come first because that's what's going to sustain you for the rest of your life. So support from your coach and your teammates is definitely a big one.
Great. So what advice do you have for any girls who are looking to play volleyball or really any collegiate sport?
Yeah. Just do it. I mean, I know a lot of people say, oh, I would never want to play D1. It's too time consuming. It's too just life consuming. But I got such a great experience out of it. And I think if you can play D1, it's an amazing experience. You get to travel all these places and meet people and get all these experiences that you wouldn't at a smaller school or that you wouldn't not playing sports at all. There's only so many times you can go out and just do things with your friends and go to the library and stuff. I needed something else. I needed an ongoing activity that I could do, something that I loved. So if you love a sport, stick with it as long as you can, because once you're done with it, it's upsetting, obviously, which is why I play so much now. But yeah, I would say go for it.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much. This has been so helpful. Thanks for joining another episode of #ThisAndThat on Woman to Woman TV. See you next time.